If you poke the Russian bear with a stick, don't be surprised when he reacts.
I have some insane breaking news in regards to what Farage has said in the past, but also about the shooter. Before we get on to the shooter, let's just have a listen to the hypocrisy that is going to come out of Farage's mouth, because it becomes very important later on.
We ourselves in the European Union provoked the conflict through our territorial expansionism in the Ukraine. We poked the Russian bear with a stick, and unsurprisingly, Putin reacted.
If you're a democratic country and you want to join the European Union, it's up to you. It's nothing to do with Russia or what they want. And Nigel seems to be exonerating that view. But of course, this is what Nigel thinks of Vladimir Putin.
I was asked a couple of months ago, which world leader did I admire? And I said Vladimir Putin as an operator.
You'll never hear Nigel blame Putin, and you'll never hear him blame Trump. When it's Putin's fault for invading countries, Nigel blames the West. When it's an assassination attempt on Trump, it's the fault of the left.
What did you think when you heard the news, first of all?
I was very upset, and I'm still upset. I'm obviously pleased that my friend Donald's got away with it. Only just, but he's got away with it. But one person is dead. Two more are fighting for their lives in hospital. So it's an absolutely horrendous incident. And yet, somehow, I'm not shocked by it. The narrative that is put out there about Trump by these liberals that oppose him is so nasty, is so unpleasant, that I think it almost encourages this type of behaviour.
Are you suggesting that the political environment is to blame for this?
Well, you can always pick out quotes. I mean, it was just a few weeks ago that Joe Biden said Trump must be put in the bullseye. And, you know, we talked earlier on this programme about social media, and that's quite right. There are some things that are said on social media that aren't acceptable. But there is also a mainstream media narrative. And I'm afraid it's very, very one-sided. The BBC is a part of this.
Now we get into this very odd grey area where essentially I have to agree. Anyone who uses violent rhetoric, anyone who makes jokes that violence should be used against someone, shouldn't be accepted by any side of the argument. But there's a balance to be had here, and clearly the right have been the ones that provoking this from the beginning, especially Nigel. And if Laura Kuenssberg was worth her salt, she would have pulled him up on this example.
Not delivered, there will be widespread public anger in this country, on a scale and in a way that we have never seen before. If that happens, much as I'm enjoying myself, I love doing the LBC talk show 4 nights a week. I love doing it. Please stay. Those of you really engaged, it's a great fun thing to do. I enjoy my trips to the States with Trump in the White House and everything else. I've enjoyed my life. But if they don't deliver this Brexit that I spent 25 years of my life working for, then I will be forced to don khaki, pick up a rifle and head for the front line. If this is not delivered, then I will be forced to don khaki, pick up a rifle and head for the front line.
And there you have it. Nigel suggesting that the use of violence is necessary when he deems it.
It's happening in this country. I mean, I've faced continual attacks for over a decade now. Because it's me, no one cares.
Terrible tragedy overseas. A rising political star killed on the streets of England. The world mourning the loss of 41-year-old Jo Cox, a mother of 2.
And that morning, this poster had come out. A racist poster because those refugees are going to Germany, so they cannot come into the UK for over 8 years because they'd have to get an EU passport to do so. And not only that, the poster itself was reminiscent of Nazi propaganda films and posters of the 30s and 40s depicting the threat of immigration to Germany. And after Thomas's arrest, he had claimed that he'd done it for British freedom. And a short time while later, Nigel complained that the murder had stopped the momentum of the Leave campaign. So you would hope with all of that memory in hand, he wouldn't be stirring up more hate and putting blame on one group, but asking everyone to calm down. And he does the opposite.
In fact, it's even funny, you know. I mean, one of the many times that I had a drink thrown at me, you know, a comedian, so-called comedian on a BBC show says, well, why not battery acid? I mean, I just find the fact that that individual, Joe Brand, is still on BBC programmes, I find that really pretty appalling. We've got Mr. Aronovich, who does programmes on Radio 4, who recently said that the best way for the Democrats to deal with Trump is to have him shot. No, he says now that was a joke. But so I do think mainstream media, I do think liberal intolerance is increasingly a part of this problem. And
violence on all sides should be condemned, but isn't it funny how he just switches it to blaming the left? And we're going to come on to the real kicker in a minute on that. But have a listen to some of the rhetoric in the past from Republicans.
Republican Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona under fire for posting a photoshopped anime video depicting him attacking and killing Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The video also depicts Gosar's character attacking President Biden.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling for the House Ethics Committee and law enforcement to investigate the video.
Gosar says in part, the cartoon depicts the symbolic nature of a battle between lawful and unlawful policies, and in no way intended to be a targeted attack against Representative Cortez or Mr. Biden. It is a symbolic cartoon. It is not real life.
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones, which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love, the love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
And a day after the shooting, a Republican was tweeting this.
We are in a battle between good and evil. The Democrats are the party of the pedophiles, murdering the innocent unborn, violence, and bloody, meaningless, endless wars. They want to lock up their political opponents and terrorize innocent Americans who would tell the truth about it. The Democrat Party is flat out evil, and yesterday they tried to murder President Trump.
And yet, Mr. Farage, you're not suggesting surely that this is coming only from one side. If we concentrate on what's happened in America, do the Republicans also not have a responsibility in terms of creating a political environment? Many of Donald Trump's supporters have on many occasions used incredibly direct language here.
Including Donald Trump.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. This egregious assault on our democracy, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
And finally ordering them to go and release that hate upon the US Capitol.
Anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and after this we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down.
During that speech he said the word slaughtered once, killed 3 times, dead 5, destroyed 6, and the word fight or fighting 20 times.
Oh, that's right. And look, there are extremists on both sides of the political divide.
Isn't it interesting how he had to get pressed to be able to come out and admit there's inflammatory language being used on both sides? And that's key. Because for me, if this continues to escalate, which it looks likely to, the only people that are going to win, or the only person that's going to win, is Vladimir Putin. But as I said earlier, there is a bombshell here with who this kid is, the person that's been accused of trying to take out President Trump. Have a listen to Adam Mockler report talk about what's been said in the news in the States.
A former classmate of the 20-year-old man who tried unsuccessfully to kill former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally on Saturday recalled him being staunchly to the right of the political spectrum. Quote, he definitely was conservative, Max R. Smith told the Philadelphia Inquirer of Thomas Crooks. It makes me wonder why he would carry out an assassination attempt on the conservative candidate. Smith shared an American history class with Crooks and remembered a mock debate where their teacher made students stand on one side of the classroom or another to signal their allegiance. Quote, the majority of the class were on the liberal side, but Tom, no matter what, always stood his ground on the conservative side.
Yes, that's right. The guy was conservative and he voted Republican. And yet, apparently all the blame goes to the liberal side. I doubt we'll hear any retraction from Nigel Farage in the near future, if ever at all. And what can definitely be said is that America is in a bad place at the moment, and it needs a lot of fixing and healing. And unless both sides come together to calm down, as I stated earlier, the only person who wins is Putin. To add to this, we have a similar issue taking place in the UK, And frankly, Nigel Farage is no Martin Luther King. He is an Enoch Powell, he is a divider, he is someone who will not bring communities together. He revels in the division.
If you poke the Russian bear with a stick, don't be surprised when he reacts.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and once again, thank you to all my Patreons and YouTube supporters. You keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to support the channel for free, click the like and subscribe button. If you'd like to help out, become a member, look at the link in the description, or you can even buy me a coffee. Once again, thanks for listening. Bye for now.